Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Let's chant one round of japa with Srila Prabhupada. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता एज इट इज की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam for All session. Let's recite a new verse today. Today is Monday, so we'll be reciting the next memorization verse from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 10. The last verse that we memorized was 1039. Yes. Yacchapi sarvabhutanam bijam tad aham arjuna na tad asti vina yatsyan maya bhutam characharam. Furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existences. There is no being moving or non-moving that can exist without me. I'll have to check what is the next memorization verse. $10:39, so next is 10:41. Okay, 10:41. Please repeat, dear devotees. Yad yad vibhuti matsatvam Srimad urjitam eva va tattad evavagachatvam mama tejomsha sambhavam. Yad yad vibhuti matsatvam Srimad urjitam eva va tattad evavagachatvam mama tejom. Yad yad vibhuti matsatvam Srimad urjitam eva va tattad evavagachatvam mama tejomsha sambhavam. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. Okay, so you can start reciting now, and then I'll discuss a little bit afterwards. Anyone needs to go first? Isha, okay, go ahead.
Yadyad vibhuti matsatvam Srimad urjitam eva va tattad evavagachatvam mama tejomsha sambhavam. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor.
Okay, so we'll go in order. Achintadev Prabhu, Priyanka Haripriya Mataji. Okay, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Shastra Prabhupada.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Yat yat vibhuti matsattvam Srimad urjitam eva va tattad evavagachatvam mama tejo ansha sambhavam. Know that all opulent, beautiful and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Achintadev Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhuji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please repeat. Yad yad vibhuti matsatvam
Yad yad vibhuti matsatvam
Srimad urjitameva va
Srimad urjitam eva va
tattad evavagachatvam
tattad eva gacchatam
evavagachatvam.
tattad eva gacchatam.
One more time. Tattad evavagachatvam.
Tattad eva va gacchatam.
Yes. Mama tejomsha sambhavam.
Mama tejo mama sattvavam.
Mama tejomsha amsha. Tejomsha sambhavam.
Mama tejosma ma sattvavam.
Okay. Translation.
And know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Yad yad vibhuti matsatvam
Srimad Urjitam eva va tat eva vagachatvam mama tejom sa sambhavam. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Arunita is
Hare
not.
Krishna. She's not ready. Okay. So next, Krishna Ashish.
यद्यद्विभूतिमत्सत्त्वं श्रीमद् एव वा तत्तदेवावगच्छत्वं मम तेजोंशसम्भवम्. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor.
Madhava.
यद्यद्विभूतिमत्सत्त्वं श्रीमद् ऊर्जितम् एव वा
Evavagachatvam
एवावगच्छत्वं मम
tejomsha.
सम्भवम्. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor.
Rasapriya.
यद्यद्विभूतिमत्सत्त्वं श्रीमद् एव च तत्तत् यद्यद्विभूतिमत्सत्त्वं श्रीमद् च तत्तदेव भगत्सत्त्वं मम तेजोंससम्भवम्. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor.
Next, Sonia Mataji is here. Usha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Yat vibhuti sattvam srimat uchitam eva va tat eva vagachatvam mama tejomsha sambhavam. Translation. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. Thank you, Mataji. May they still not hear Mataji.
She's not there. Okay. Narsimha Leela Chaitanya Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
यद् विभूतिमत्सत्त्वं श्रीमद् ऊर्जितम् एव वा तत्तद् एवावगच्छत्वं मम तेजोंस सम्भवम्. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
यद्यद्विभूतिमत्सत्त्वं श्रीमद् एव वा तत्तदेवावगच्छत्वं मम तेजोंशसम्भवम्. Translation. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. Kids will recite at the end, Mataji, if possible.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hare Krishna. So Priyanka Haripriya Mataji finished. Vindhyavali Mataji.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Yaddadvibhuti matsattvam Srimad Urjitam eva va taddad eva va gachatvam mama tejomsa sambhavam. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring but spring from but a spark of my splendor. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
So
Mataji.
now, thank you. Achyut Priya Mataji. Achyut Priya Arundhati Mataji.
Jai Shri Prabhupada. Take from the right.
Dandat Pranam Mataji. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
यद्य विभूतिमत्सत्त्वं श्रीमद्भूषितमेव वा तत्तदेव गच्छत्वं मम तेजों माम्
Evavagacchati.
एवावगच्छत्वं मम तेजों संभवम्. Translation: Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. Thank you, Mother. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Arunita is ready. Not yet. Okay, I'll come back to her later. Jai Ganesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Inya.
यद्यद्विभूतिमत्सत्त्वं श्रीमदूर्जितमेव वा तत्तदेवावगच्छत्वं मम तेजोंशसम्भवम्. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. All goes to Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Yadyad vibhuti matsatvam Srimad Pujitam eva va Tat eva vagachatvam Mama tejomsha sambhavam. Translation: All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. Inba is coming once again.
Okay.
So,
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Inba.
यद्यद्विभूतिमत्सत्त्वं श्रीमदूर्जितमेव वा तत्तदेवावगच्छत्वं मम तेजोंशसम्भवम्. Translation: Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor.
Jai Shri is not
Mataji is
available.
not there. Okay. Next. Usha Mataji. Medha is there? I see your hand is raised. I thought maybe Medha is there.
Yes,
Maybe not.
Mataji.
You're there. Yeah, go ahead.
Yadyad vibhutimatsatvam Srimad Urjitam eva va Tat evavagachatvam Mama tejomsha sambhavam. Translation: Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor.
Thank you. Saujanya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. All goes to the assembled devotees.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Yadyad vibhuti matsatvam Srimad Urjitam eva va Tattad eva vagachatvam Mama tejomsa shambhavam. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. So, whoever has not recited, if you're ready, you can just unmute and recite.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Arunita.
यद्यद्विभूतिमत्सत्त्वं
Vibhuti mat sattvam.
विभूतिमत्सत्त्वं श्रीमदूर्जितम् एव च
Urjitam.
ऊर्जितम् एव च
Eva va. Eva va.
एव वा तत्तदेव
एवावगच्छत्वम्
एवावगच्छत्वं मम
तेजोंश संभवम्.
Tejomsha Translation. Know that all opulent and beautiful
నేను హెల్ప్ చేస్తాను
know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Go ahead, Mataji.
Yad yad vibhuti mattatvam Srimad Urjitam eva va tad ad eva va gachatvam mama tejom sa sambhavam. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor.
Thank you, Mataji. Anyone else? Hare Krishna.
Mataji, can I read?
Yes.
Yad yad vibhuti matsattvam Srimad Urjitam eva tad eva vajkatvam
Evavagachatvam.
Evavagachatvam mamateho misha sambhavam. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Suhrit.
Yad yad vibhuti matsatvam Srimad Urjitam eva va tat eva gachat
Evavagachatvam.
Evavagachatvam mama tejomsha. Translation. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Spurti.
Yat yat vibhuti matsatvam Srimad Urjitam eva tat evavagachatvam ram mama tejo sambhava. Translation. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Did everyone recite? I think everyone has recited. Okay. So now let's read Srimad Bhagavatam. Before that, so we are coming to the conclusion of this chapter 10. Chapter 10 is entitled The Opulences of the Supreme. So if you remember, at the beginning of this chapter, Krishna told Arjun, or Arjun actually asked. First, Krishna said that I'm going to tell you once again. I'm going to tell you once again what I had told you previously. I'm going to say that, and also I'm going to tell you something superior to that also, something more than that also. Because Krishna had already talked about his opulences in the 7th chapter, then again in the 9th chapter. And now Krishna in this 10th chapter is saying, I'm going to say the same thing what I told before. I'm going to repeat it for you. Why Krishna is repeating? What is the importance of the opulences of the Supreme? Because we will understand this is important for the sadhana bhaktas. Those who are performing sadhana bhakti, for them it is very important to know about the greatness of the Supreme Lord. That's when we'll get that respect for the Lord. And then we will get that faith that yes, he's so great, and we will have faith that, if we surrender to him, he can take care of us fully. We don't have to worry. So you have to, for those who are candidates for sadhana bhakti, the Aishwarya of the Supreme Lord is very important to know, to get, to render devotional service. So, therefore, the Lord is repeating again and again for our sake. So, again in the 10th chapter, Krishna said, I'm going to repeat it for you. And then after the Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo Matta Sarvam Pravartate, then Machitta Madgata Prana, then Tesham Satata Yuktanam Bhajatam Pritipurokam, Tesham Evanu Kampartam Aham Agyanajam Tamah. So then after listening to this, Arjuna is saying, yes, whatever you said, you know, you are actually, so he's just repeating, you are actually not understood even by the demigods or the demons. Please tell me how I should remember you in this world. This was Arjun's question. Then Krishna said, my opulences are unlimited, but I will just tell you some. You want to hear all about my opulences? It's not possible. It's not possible for me to describe about all my opulences. It's not possible for you to know about all my opulences. You don't have that capacity. And because my opulences are unlimited, so therefore, I will just tell you a few sample. Like that. So then Krishna said different things. How, amongst the elephants is Airavata and like that, And after that, finally, the last few verses that we memorized, Krishna is saying, I am the source of everything. I am the generating seed of all existences. In short, whether anything moving or non-moving, nothing can exist without me. He's coming to the conclusion. And now in this verse, Krishna is saying that anything wonderful, right? Anything opulent, anything beautiful, anything glorious that you see in this world, you should understand that all of them are just coming from just one spark of my splendor. Like you have the sun is emitting so much light. If you take one photon, right, one little spark of that sunlight, like that. So all wonderful things, all glorious things, all beautiful things in this world, just to name a few, you go to the Niagara Falls and you're amazed. My God, it's amazing, isn't it? Or you just simply look at the ocean. It is so big, it's so huge, right? Or you look at the Himalayas, right? You feel that awe and reverence. So anything wonderful, anything great that you see, you should understand it is just emanating from a spark of my splendor, just my small amsha. So what can I tell you about all my opulences? Everything that you see here, anything which is great, all that put together is coming from one small spark of my splendor, like that. So, and then the next verse, with that's the conclusion of this chapter. Text 42 is the conclusion. So there, what is the need to tell you about all these opulences, Arjuna, right? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe as Paramatma. Paramatma is a single fragment of myself, Krishna is saying. So we also have to understand, by now I think all of you are very clear about this subject, but Krishna and Paramatma, on one hand, yes, he's the same person, but on the other hand, no, he's not the same person, right? Vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti shabdyate. So Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan are all the same person, but at the same time not the same. How? Brahman and Paramatma realization is only partial understanding of Bhagavan. And even when you talk about Bhagavan, Bhagavan means the personality of Godhead with all his energies. Brahman means, like we were reading in Bhagavad Gita yesterday, introduction. There, Prabhupada explains what is Brahman, what is Paramatma, what is Bhagavan. Sat Chid Ananda, right? When Sat Chid Ananda, all three are present, then that is Bhagavan. There's only Sat, that is Brahman. There is Sat and Chit together, that is Paramatma. Sat, Chit and Ananda, all three are there, then it is Bhagavan. That means Brahman realization and Paramatma realization is only partial realization of the Supreme Absolute Truth. Like that. So, and in Bhagavan also, again, this also we read, 100% is Krishna. And up to 93% is other forms, Vishnumurti forms, all the different forms in Vaikuntha planets. Up to 93%. And 84% is Lord Shiva. 78% is the living entity. That is when the living entity comes to its perfection. It cannot have more than 78. In the conditioned state, we are not manifesting the 78%. We have like very small. But when we come to the best of our capacity, our potential, we can at most be 78% of all the qualities of Bhagavan. But Bhagavan is 100%. And who is that? That is Krishna. Here Krishna is speaking to Arjun. And Krishna is saying, with just one fragment of myself, I pervade this entire creation, entire universe. Who is that? Paramatma. So Paramatma is Amsha, a fragment of Krishna. So with that, Krishna concludes this chapter. Everything that we see, nothing can exist without the Lord. And even the Lord who is pervading everything, that is just a fragment of Krishna. So what need is there, right? Of all this, I've given you such a long list, right? Like among women, I am fame, fortune, fine speech, and I am death, all devouring death. So many things Krishna said, all his opulences. But what is the need to speak of all these things, my dear Arjun? Just this one line will sum up everything to you. With just one fragment of myself, I pervade and I support this entire universe. This is my opulence, like that Krishna is telling. So that was Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10. This week we are memorizing text 41. Mataji, Vindhyavali Mataji.
Mataji, you said Satchitananda, all three are Bhagavan, you said?
So Sat, Chit and Ananda are the attributes, the qualities. So in Bhagavan, all three are there.
And Satchit, you said, what is it? Satchit?
Paramatma. Sat means eternity. Chit means knowledge. Ananda means bliss. So Paramatma has the attributes of eternity and knowledge. Brahman has the attribute of eternity only.
That means only Chit.
Sat.
Sat, okay.
And Bhagavan will have all three. So therefore, realizing Bhagavan is complete realization of absolute truth.
Got it.
Yeah. Thank you. Achut Priya Mataji.
Mataji.
Mataji, even living entities also has the Satchitananda, right?
Yeah, that's why I said part and parcel, right? So up to 78%. Up to 78%, that is if you are fully, not covered by any modes or anything, you're completely transcendent. The highest you can be is 78% of all the qualities of Bhagavan, like that.
That qualities is eternity, Mataji. Sat means?
Yes, we are also. Sat means eternity, Chit means knowledge, and Ananda means bliss. Yes.
Thank you. Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So let's read Srimad Bhagavatam now. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 9, the dynasty of Amshuman. And there we read how Amshuman's grandson, Bhagirath. So Bhagirath managed to bring Ganga Devi to the earth. And after traveling, so he was going ahead in his chariot, and Ganga Devi was following behind him, because his destination is he has to go to Kapil Dev's ashram, where his ancestors, the 60,000 sons of Sagara, King Sagara, were laying there in ashes. So as soon as Ganga Devi touched these ashes, they were all delivered. All 60,000 sons of Sagara were delivered. In this way, Bhagirath managed to deliver his ancestors. So how he first performed tapasya to please goddess Ganga, and after goddess Ganga came, and even before him, his father and his grandfather Amshuman and his son Dilipa had also done severe sacrifices, but they were not able to get the audience of Ganga Devi. Only Bhagirath was successful. And then after Ganga Devi came, then she had a concern, who will be able to contain my force? Then Bhagirath said, Lord Shiva will be able to do that. And then all these people will come and dump their sins into me. Or what will happen to me with all those sins? Then Bhagirath said, when the pure devotees of the Lord, who are always carrying the Supreme Lord in the core of their hearts, when they come and take bath in your waters, all those sins will be eradicated. They will all be removed. So like this. But then for Lord Shiva to accept the sins, now Bhagirath again performed tapasya to satisfy Lord Shiva. But very quickly Lord Shiva was satisfied, because he is Ashutosh. And was when Bhagirath requested him to please sustain the waters, the force of Ganga as she's coming down from the higher realms. Lord Shiva was happy to do that. Why? And very carefully he caught the water, Ganga Devi, on his head, because she is emanating from the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. She is Parama Vaishnavi, right? She's coming from the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. So very carefully he accepted her water and then released her. Yeah? And in this way, Ganga Devi came down to this earth. So that's what we were reading. Let's continue. 13. I'll just read one or two verses before, so we'll have the continuity. Text 11. Bhagirath mounted a swift chariot and drove before Mother Ganges, who followed him, purifying many countries. Yeah, so wherever Ganga Devi flowed, she was purifying all those places, until they reached the ashes of Bhagirath's forefathers, the sons of Sagara, who were thus sprinkled with water from the Ganges. Because the sons of Sagara Maharaj had offended a great personality, the heat of their bodies had increased and they were burnt to ashes. But simply by being sprinkled with water from the Ganges, all of them became eligible to go to the heavenly planets. What then is to be said of those who use the water of Mother Ganges to wash them? So simply by touching the water of the Ganges, one becomes free, or at least one is overcoming the influence of offense to a great personality. At least that influence is reduced, right? So much so that now he becomes eligible to go to heaven. If this is the result of simply touching the water of the Ganges, what will be the result of someone who's worshipping Mother Ganges with her water? How much more benefit he must get like that. So there Srila Prabhupada said, it's the same principle, right? Offering Ganga's water back to Ganga, she doesn't need her water, that's her water. It's her water and you are offering. But what she is accepting is your bhakti. Just like Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, they're all Krishna's, and just now Krishna said, everything is coming from me, right? Everything, there's no existence, whether moving or non-moving, that can exist without me. No being, moving or non-moving, can exist without me. Everything is coming from me. So Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam is also coming from Krishna only. Still, when we offer that Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, Krishna accepts it. He eats it, he says. Why? because it is offered with bhakti. So really what he's accepting is our bhakti via these ingredients which are actually his. So he is not in need, he is not benefiting by our fruits and water. It's not like his hunger is satisfied, he is hungry for our bhakti. That's all. So it's actually, even if he's hungry for bhakti, it's not because he's going to gain something. He wants us to be benefited. So when we offer something to him, it is we who are getting benefited, not that we are doing a favor to him. Same way with Ganges also, when you offer water to Ganga, it's not that with when you take some water from her, now her water has gone down and she's morose, and when you give her some water, now she has become bigger, more water. It's not like that. She doesn't lose anything, she doesn't gain anything. But we are the ones who are gaining when we offer to Ganga. That's the point Srila Prabhupada made in the purport. Mataji, Indyavali Mataji. You are in mute.
I have a silly question. Usually, these ashes, they just put in Ganga. If a person passes away, they take the ashes. That is the final thing. They have to finish that in the person's rituals.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
What is that? Why they are doing? And then one more thing. When I went to Kasi, Benares, I saw so many things. It touched my heart. And some places, half-burned bodies, they were just throwing into Ganga. And then, of course, these ashes, thousands and millions of people, when a person dies, they take the ashes, there is a final ritual. They just put it in Ganga. So how much she's taking Ganga, Mother Ganga, and then half-burning bodies, they used to push it into Ganges. I myself, with my own eyes, I saw. And in the station, and I saw the hundreds of, at a time, so many dead bodies, but they were just lying there. They wanted to do the cremation and everything there. So what is this? This is is a genuine ritual, or is just foolishness we are doing that?
No, it is not foolishness. It's actually, it is a scriptural injunction. The principle is the same as we see in the case of the sons of Sagara. When they will be delivered, that person who has been, who's dead, and if something is holding him back from his further journey, then by the touch of river Ganges, then he will be relieved from that obstacle and he'll be able to move forward. His sins, he'll be able to overcome those sins and he'll be able to continue on in his journey. That's the point. That's why. And as far as dumping half-burnt bodies into the Ganges, it's just my opinion. It's not right to do that, because generally they make sure there's somebody there at the crematorium to ensure that the body is fully burnt, and then the ashes are given to the family members, and then the family members, there is a procedure, right? They chant mantras and they offer the ashes in Mother Ganges. So that's how it should be done, with respect. But the idea is that this person will be, he'll be delivered from his, he'll continue on his journey, he'll make further progress. That's the point. It's not madness, it's not foolishness.
But dead bodies come, they were in the station, and they are waiting in the line. So that is the reason they're hurrying up like that.
Acha. They don't have enough facility to do that.
So I saw all that with my own eyes. I went to get the Ganges water. I saw that, and that water is not that clean also.
Water is not?
At the edge, they were all those things are coming to the shore.
Yes.
So people, how much they will feel for Ganga, how much she's taking it, and how much people are going. It's a sacred thing, sacred. Like you said, it's coming from Vishnu's lotus feet, Krishna's lotus feet. So I felt like it's polluting. She won't be polluted. She won't be polluted. Ganga is pure. We're
Yes.
making it, and people have that psychological feelings. The people like me, go there and see all those things coming to the thing. How can I go and get the water, pure water?
Yeah. Actually, it's interesting. I have Srila Prabhupada's lecture playing every day, and I don't go selecting which chapter and which verse. It just comes one after another. And this morning, so when I'm doing worshipping the deities in the morning, I have Prabhupada's lecture playing. And Srila Prabhupada was talking about River Ganges today. Coincidence, I'm saying. And Prabhupada says that even though sometimes you see stool in the Ganges, coming to you, but those who have that vision, right, those who are devotees, they don't mind. They just, with water, they just push it aside, and still they take that water with great respect, because Ganges water is never polluted. It's always pure. Of course, it's not nice to do that, there's no need to uh, dump waste into Ganges. That's not required. But as far as putting ashes after burning the body, that is a system that is given in the scriptures. So we do that, but it has to be done with great respect. If we don't, if we stop the other type of pollution and contamination, this should not be a problem. It's just like you know putting factory waste into the rivers. Those things, they are unwanted anarthas. That's not required. That's not and that is what is causing pollution. But this is because the water is flowing, everything gets, it flows away. So um, yeah, just being respectful. And of course, when the other point that you said, so many people, so many bodies are waiting, it also shows the faith that people have, isn't it? How much faith they have. Otherwise, it's easier to just do it wherever they are in their own villages, just do it. But still, they have so much faith. So this shows how pious these people are, that they take the trouble and they are concerned about their, dear ones, whoever has passed away, that they should continue on their ongoing journey. So that's why Srila Prabhupada says Punya Bhumi, Bharat Bhumi is Punya Bhumi. They have this idea, this Krishna consciousness is ingrained in their hearts, people who take birth in India, Prabhupada says. Now, because of, so much propaganda, they are trying to copy the Western culture, but still their hearts still have that Krishna consciousness. And one more thing that Prabhupada said is that these people, even though they have turned away from Krishna consciousness externally, if you preach to them, very quickly they'll take to Krishna consciousness. And even those who are far away from the Vedic culture, from other places, even though they are apparently taking to Krishna consciousness, this was actually an answer to one devotee's question. Because one devotee who was preaching in India told Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, these people, they have become so material in India, right? So materialistic, and they're all copying the West. They have forgotten their culture, like that he was saying. So in answer to that, Srila Prabhupada said, even though they have turned away, they are still very close to Krishna consciousness, and they have turned away. And those who have turned to Krishna consciousness from the other parts of the world, even though they have turned to Krishna consciousness, they're far away. They're far away. So if you preach to them, very quickly they can turn to Krishna consciousness. And that we are seeing how,
That's what
so many people have taken to Krishna consciousness in India, like it's spreading like anything. It's spreading
even
like
in
anything.
some countries, that's what he did. He proved
Yeah.
it. Prabhupada has proved it.
Yeah. So no, just the point about Punya Bhumi, right? So they have this faith because it is there,
That's
I think they take the ashes. Prabhupada was talking about taking the ashes to Prayag. Prabhupada said nowadays it has, because of all this propaganda, it has reduced a little bit. But actually, everyone would go to Prayag, taking the ashes of the departed soul, and they go to Prayag like that.
so. Which one? Prayag or Prayag Ganga or this Benares?
Specifically, they go to Prayag because there you have Gaya, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also took the ashes to Gaya. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I saw all that, how they are doing rituals there. And then that is the last thing, a soul, when it goes, ashes has to be put there. And then also they say it's not necessary the person should go. When a person is alive, he can also perform his own. That's what they
really?
say.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know that.
That's what we did personally there.
Acha, acha.
We can do. See, if I don't have, I don't know whether they will do it anything after me or something. I can do myself there.
Acha.
That's
Yeah, I
what
don't know.
my husband and my what is that, his relative, we all went and we did it. He did it. So, but and of course, the son will do. My son is doing, but still, he said, "No, let me do."
Yeah.
Those are the faith things, are believing things are there. But about this water, yes, of course, we did like that only. Whatever is water is Ganga water. But the way I saw that.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank
So
you.
this was what, thank you, Mataji. So that's what we had read yesterday. We didn't even start today's verse. We'll start now. And Aditi Lata Mataji, you wanted to say something?
Sorry.
I didn't want to take too much time, Mataji. I just wanted to say, as per the question of Vindhyavati Mataji, that in Kali Ghat, no, a stream of Ganges used to flow from there, and because and that's a red light area, and they used to bathe and wash everything and clothes and all those things. That's why that became so polluted. It almost dried up, and now government is actually taking initiative to clean up, and no one can go to the Ganges in Calcutta to wash dishes and all those stuff. So that's what happens, like if there are too much scenes and too much pollution, then that stream is closed. But Ganges in itself is clean, and if you go to Gangotri, of course, that's the purest form.
Yeah. Yes, Mataji. Thank you. Actually, overall, it's like a spider's web. You touch one thing and everything shakes. So like that, everything is interconnected. The lifestyle, like the way we are moving away from the Vedic uh, type of lifestyle, then everything is going to be affected by that. So the problem is not with the ritual. The problem is not with the ritual. Even in olden days, people, and it is said, Yavanartha udapane sarvatah samplutodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanatah. All purposes served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. Right? So in that commentary, it is explained, when you go to the river, all your jobs are fulfilled. You can wash your clothes, you can fill your pots, you can take your bath, you can do your pots, everything, no problem.
Yeah.
Why? Because the water is flowing. So there's that's not bad. But because of everything else, right? If we actually lived that type of lifestyle, then there is no problem. There is no problem. And also this overpopulation and this and these are all artificial. Everything, there is enough supply for everyone's need, but we don't have enough to satisfy man's greed, because greed is unlimited. There's no limit to greed. How
That's true.
much ever you have, you want more, 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 and more. And then when there is greed, then there is crime, right? And everything else follows like that. So anyway, that's a subject in itself. Let's continue and start. Who's supposed to read today? I think Priyanka Mataji will help me. I
Isha read
think,
it last, Mataji.
thank you so much. So Krishna Shish. भस्माभूताङ्गसङ्गेन स्वर्यातः सगरात्मजाः किं पुनः श्रद्धया देवीं सेवन्ते ये धृतव्रताः.
Simply by having water from the Ganges come in contact with the ashes of their burnt bodies, the sons of Sagara Maharaj were elevated to the heavenly planets. Therefore, what is to be said of a devotee who worships Mother Ganges faithfully with the determined vow? One can only imagine the benefit that accrues to such a devotee.
Yes, you can only imagine, right? So it's going to be much more than what you can even imagine. And the details are actually given also, right? Like if you are staying, it's said like 50 meters or 50 miles, I don't know, within the radius of the river where the Ganges is flowing, then uh, whatever devotional service you perform, it is multiplied unlimited number of times. And if you stay within, like the next number 100, exact numbers I don't remember, but just to give you an idea, or if you're staying within 100 miles, then it is multiplied 100 times, like that. Once His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj was telling this, when we start the Gaur Purnima festival, inauguration of the Gaur Purnima festival every year. So they hoist the flag. So Maharaj is there at that time. And then, and that a few years ago, he was saying like about what is the benefit of, simply being in Dham, that is there. But in the vicinity of river Ganges, what is the benefit of that? Like that. So somebody who is simply coming in touch with the water, he's eligible to go to heavens in spite of his sins and offenses. Then what to speak of someone who is very devotedly with a vow worshipping goddess Ganga, Mother Ganga? What would be the result of that? You can only imagine, right? One can only imagine the benefit that accrues to such a devotee. Next. Nahyetad आश्चर्यं स्वर्धुन्या यद् इहोदितम् अनन्तचरणं भोजा प्रसूताया भवच्छिदः. Madhava.
Because of the Ganges emanates from the lotus toe of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Anantadev, she is able to liberate one from material bondage. Therefore, whatever is described herewith about her is not at all wonderful.
Yeah. Because Mother Ganges emanates from the lotus toe of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Anantadev, because Mother Ganges emanates from the lotus toe of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Anantadev, she is able to liberate one from material bondage. So now you may get this question, how Mother Ganges is able to liberate? We already read that only Lord Vishnu can remove the sins of a person, deliver one from his sins. Nobody else can do that. Now, how river Ganges is able to do that? How Mother Ganges is able to do that? Because she's emanating from the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. That's why. That's why she's able to deliver one from the sins. Because Mother Ganges emanates from the lotus toe of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Anantadev, she is able to liberate one from material bondage. Therefore, whatever is described herewith about her is not at all wonderful, or in other words, it is not an exaggeration. This is not an exaggeration. That is why again and again Again, coming back to all the discussion that we had earlier in the beginning today, why people are flocking there? Because they have this faith, and this faith is based on scripture. It's not just a blind faith or superstition. This is based on Shastra. So this only shows how, advanced these people are who are actually coming there. They have faith in the Shastra. Okay, so that's what is being said here. Whatever is described here with about her is not at all wonderful, right? She's able to do this because she's emanating from the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. Purport, Rasapriya.
It has actually been seen that anyone who regularly worships Mother Ganges simply by bathing in her water keeps very good health and gradually becomes a devotee of the Lord. This is the effect of bathing in the water of the Ganges. Bathing in the Ganges is recommended in all Vedic Shastras, and one who takes this bath will certainly be completely freed from all sinful reactions. The practical example of this is that the sons of Maharaj Sagara went to the heavenly planets when water from the Ganges merely touched the ashes of their burnt bodies.
Yes. So the proof is how, in spite of offending a great personality, simply by touching the waters of the Ganges, they were delivered, right, from their, and the water touched their ashes, the burnt ashes. By that, the soul was delivered. So it has actually been seen that anyone who regularly worships Mother Ganges simply by bathing in her water, right? What do you mean by worship? We are not talking about elaborate worship and arti and everything. Just like, how do you worship, 1 second. How do you worship a cow, mother cow? Uh, the way you worship, of course, we do go puja and arti and all that. But generally, the way to worship mother cow is you go and milk her. You feed her nice grass, you keep her clean, you brush her, and you take her milk and offer that milk to Krishna. You're worshipping mother cow, taking care of her. So similarly, how do you worship Mother Ganges? Of course, they offer arti and all that, but generally, if you just go and take bath in her, just take her water and offer it to her, that's worship of Ganga. And anyone who simply takes bath in her every day, it says, who regularly worships her, how? By taking bath in her every day. He will be free from all diseases. Srila Prabhupada says this. This is said in purport, even in his lectures we will hear. If anybody is every day taking bath in the Ganga, he will not fall sick. He will not fall sick. He'll be very healthy. No diseases. This is the power of Ganges. So, it has actually been seen that anyone who regularly worships Mother Ganges simply by bathing in her water keeps very good health and gradually becomes a devotee of the Lord. He becomes a devotee of the Lord by that association. Not only he has physically good health, but he will gradually become a devotee of the Lord. This is the effect of just bathing in the water of the Ganges. And bathing also, we are not talking about, like bathing. Just you go and take a dip and come out, that's all. Bathing in the Ganges is recommended in all Vedic Shastras. One who takes to this path will certainly be completely freed of all sinful reactions. And the proof is how the sons of Sagara were delivered. You'll be free. If you do it regularly, you'll be completely freed of all sinful reactions.
We can imagine Mataji that what Ganga, how pure she is. She comes from the toe of Lord Vishnu. And then how much she is bringing. And then just dipping or just touching that water, we get that benefit.
Yeah.
That is the thing. And some people, without knowing also, they are just doing that ritual. That's it. A lot of
Still
people.
it will work. Still it will work.
Still it works. They may not have read Bhagavatam and all, But
Yeah.
they just have faith. You should do.
Faith. Yes.
That is really
Next.
something. That is why Punya Bhumi.
Yes.
We are all blessed with that.
Yes, Mataji. And now, by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, that mercy is carried all over the world.
That's it.
Yeah. Sanniveshya mano yasmin shraddhaya munayo malaha traigunyam dustyajam hitva sadyo yatastadatmatam. Sonia Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Great sages, completely freed from the material lust and desires, devote their minds fully to the service of the Lord. Such persons are liberated from the material bondage without difficulty, and they become transcendentally situated, acquiring the spiritual quality of the Lord. This is the glory of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Great sages, completely freed from material lusty desires, devote their minds fully to the service of the Lord. Such persons are liberated from material bondage without difficulty. Yes, so if you are a saintly person who's always dedicated to the service of the Lord, then naturally you will transcend, right? You will be liberated from material bondage without difficulty. And they become transcendently situated, acquiring the spiritual quality of the Lord. This is the glory of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yes. So anyone who is devoting his mind fully to the service of the Lord, what is the result? He will become liberated from material bondage, he will become transcendentally situated, and he will acquire the spiritual quality of the Lord. Right? Krishna also says, Madbhavam, right? He will attain my nature, Krishna says, if his mind is fully devoted to Krishna. That's our endeavor. It should be our endeavor that our minds will be always absorbed in Krishna. So we will stop reading Srimad Bhagavatam here and we'll read Bhagavad Gita and Lilamrita now. We'll continue Srimad Bhagavatam reading tomorrow. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, we are reading introduction. So Sonia Mataji read. So if Lokesh is there, Lokesh will start tomorrow. If not, Usha Mataji, Medha. Okay. So we were reading about Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, right, yesterday. Now, people with less intelligence consider the supreme truth to be impersonal. Yes. Krishna says this also, right? Abuddhayaha. Abuddhayaha means less intelligence or no intelligence. People who don't have intelligence, they think that before Krishna is actually impersonal, Brahman. Before he was impersonal, but now he has accepted this material body as Krishna. So Krishna is the supreme absolute truth, but before he was impersonal, now he has accepted this form, temporary form. Who thinks like this? Abuddhayaha. Those who don't have intelligence, they think like this. That means anyone who thinks that the Brahman, the Nirakar form, is the supreme, whoever thinks like that, Krishna's opinion is that person is Abuddhayaha. He has no intelligence. So here it is said, people with less intelligence consider the supreme truth to be impersonal. But he is a transcendental person, and this is confirmed in all Vedic literatures. Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Katha Upanishad 2-13. As we are all individual living beings and have our individuality, the supreme absolute truth is also in the ultimate issue a person, and realization of the personality of Godhead is realization of all of the transcendental features in his complete form. as we discussed earlier today, right? Sat Chit Ananda. So when all the transcendental features are realized, that's when you realize Bhagavan, the personality, supreme personality. The complete whole is not formless. If he is formless, or if he is less than any other being, for example, all of us have a form, right? Even in the material world, we have form. And if we say the Supreme has no form, that means he's lacking even what we conditioned souls have. He should have everything that anyone in this world has, plus more than that. That is complete. But we are saying we have form, he has no form. He has no quality, he has no form, he has no hands, legs, and no intelligence, nothing. What is this? So, supreme, if you're saying complete, complete should have everything, right? Should have everything that you have in your experience. So, the complete whole is not formless. If he is formless, or if he is less than any other thing, then he cannot be complete whole. The complete whole must have everything within our experience and beyond our experience. Otherwise, it cannot be complete. Makes complete sense, isn't it? The complete whole, the personality of Godhead, has immense potencies. Parasya Shaktir Vividhaiva Shruyate. How Krishna is acting in different potencies is also explained in Bhagavad Gita. This phenomenal world or material world in which we are placed is also complete in itself. The material world is also complete in itself, right? Just like everything that we need is produced in this universe only. It's not like it has to be imported from the spiritual world. It's complete in itself. Just take any creation, like a child is born. Whatever the child needs for its growth, everything is getting from the mother. It's not like you have to get from somewhere else for the growth. So how wonderful is Krishna's creation, right? You'll be amazed. So even this material world, which is temporary, is complete in itself. That's the point. Yeah. This phenomenal world or material world in which we are placed is also complete in itself, because the 24 elements of which this material universe is a temporary manifestation, according to Sankhya philosophy, are completely adjusted to produce complete resources which are necessary for the maintenance and subsistence of this universe. And actually, this is also Vedic culture. This is, it's the same principle. You live locally and you produce whatever you need in that place. And you'll see in Vedic culture, even today in villages, for several generations, they've been living in the same place. It's not like they have to import and export things for their sustenance. Whatever they need for their sustenance, everything is there, right there, locally. Right? This is Krishna's system. Right? You have a cow, you have land, the cow manure, a cow dung fertilizes the land, and the land produces grains for us and grass for the cow. Our needs are also fulfilled, cow's needs are fulfilled, land's need is fulfilled, and we can chant Hare Krishna peacefully. This is Krishna's system. This is Krishna's system. So on a bigger scale also it is like that, right? There are 24 elements. You have 10 senses, 5 sense objects. Then you have 5 gross elements. This is 20. And then you have mind, intelligence. Then you have ahankara, like that. So you have mahat. So 24. Then again, you can add more, right? According to different calculations, you can add more also. There's time, then there is Paramatma, then there's individual soul. If you see what all are there in this material creation. So material elements, of course, time is not material, living entity is not material, Paramatma is not material. So 24 elements you have. Ahankara, Mahat, Ahankara, Mahatattva, Ahankara, intelligence, mind. And then the others are 20. So 24. These 24 elements are so nicely adjusted that they produce complete resources for the maintenance of this universe on a bigger scale and on a smaller scale also. Like I told you, within this body we have those elements, and this body is able to produce the next, right? There is nothing extraneous, nor is there anything needed. This manifestation has its own time fixed by the energy of the Supreme Lord. And when its time is complete, these temporary manifestations will be annihilated by the complete arrangement of the complete. There is complete facility for the small complete units. You can take individual body or you can take this universe. There is complete facility for the small complete units, namely the living entities, to realize the complete. What is the whole purpose of this material creation? That we should be able to realize the complete absolute truth. So there is complete facility for the small complete units to realize the complete. This is the wonderful creation of the Lord. And all sorts of incompleteness are experienced due to incomplete knowledge of the complete. Yes, makes sense. Whatever incompleteness we are experiencing in our lives is because of incomplete knowledge of the complete. So Bhagavad Gita contains the complete knowledge of Vedic wisdom. A pure devotee, one of the qualities of a pure devotee is he's a poet, he's a kavi. So you see that in Srila Prabhupada's writing here, how nicely Srila Prabhupada is writing about complete. So many times the word complete comes very interesting way, complete and incomplete. So Bhagavad Gita reading, we will stop here. We'll continue tomorrow. And now we'll read a little bit of Srila Prabhupada Leela Amrita, and then we'll wind up. Srila Prabhupada Leela Amrita. So Srila Prabhupada was staying with Dr. Mishra in his apartment, but then after some time, Dr. Mishra moved Srila Prabhupada to his studio. Okay, all right. And of course, Dr. Mishra is from the Advaita school, believing that the absolute truth is impersonal. Prabhupada challenged, if each of us is actually the Supreme, then why is this Supreme, meaning individual soul? Because their idea is, Dr. Sharma says, Mishra, sorry, not Sharma. Dr. Mishra says that everything is one, right? You, me, and the Supreme, everything is one. So Srila Prabhupada is refuting that point. If each of us is actually the Supreme, then why is this Supreme suffering and struggling in the material world? Dr. Mishra would counter that. The Supreme is only temporarily covered by illusion, and that through Hatha Yoga and meditation, one would become enlightened, understanding it is all the Supreme, right? Everything is Supreme. I am Supreme. Everything is Supreme. I mean, just think about it, common sense. Is there any meaning to Supreme? If everyone is Supreme, what is the meaning of the word Supreme then? If you say somebody is king, there has to be some subjects, isn't it? And then amongst all these subjects, one person is a king. It makes sense. If you say in this kingdom, everyone is a king. If everyone is a king, then what is the meaning of the word king? Doesn't make sense. So when you say supreme, everyone is supreme. It's a relative term, isn't it? When you say supreme, that means it is superior to others. It is the topmost compared to everyone else. That is supreme. If everyone is supreme, then why the word supreme is even there? Anyway, we'll find many such things in that philosophy. So here Srila Prabhupada is challenging Dr. Mishra. So he would say, Dr. Mishra would counter Srila Prabhupada's argument. Why, if you are supreme, why you are suffering? Then Dr. Mishra is saying, because that supreme is now temporarily covered by illusion. By doing Hatha Yoga, you'll become free from that illusion and you'll understand that everything is supreme. Prabhupada would again challenge. But if the supreme could be covered by illusion, then illusion would be supreme, isn't it? Illusion would be greater than God, greater than the supreme. Prabhupada considered Dr. Mishra a Mayavadi because of his inadvertent acceptance that Maya, illusion, is greater than the absolute truth. Okay, so now there's another, what do you mean by Mayavadi? Because they, according to their philosophy, Maya is the supreme. Because Maya is able to cover even the supreme. They consider all of us also supreme. So if we are covered, Maya is able to cover supreme, means Maya is the highest. Therefore, they are Mayavadis. Srila Prabhupada calls them Mayavadis. So, Prabhupada considered Dr. Mishra a Mayavadi. Why? Because of his inadvertent acceptance that Maya, illusion, is greater than the absolute truth. For Srila Prabhupada, not only was the impersonal philosophy unpalatable, it was an insult to the personality of Godhead. According to Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita 7:24, 9:11, unintelligent men who know me not think that I have assumed this form and personality. Right? Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is changeless and supreme. Fools deride me. So that was 7:24, right? As I was telling Abuddhaya, that is 7:24. And 9:11, Avajananti Mam Mudha. Fools deride me when I appear in this human form. They do not know my transcendental nature and my supreme dominion over all that be. Lord Chaitanya had also strongly refuted the Mayavad philosophy. Everything about the Supreme Personality of Godhead is spiritual, including his body, opulence, and paraphernalia. Everything about the Supreme Lord is spiritual. Mayavad philosophy, however, covers his spiritual opulence and advocates the theory of impersonalism. So, in essence, the Mayavad philosophy says that you are supreme, I am supreme, and Krishna is also supreme like you and me. And just like your body and my body is made of illusion, his body is also made of illusion. Then if we say, but he is giving Bhagavad Gita and we are listening, if he and we are the same, then how he becomes the teacher and we become students? Then to adjust that, they say, no, within Maya there are two components. One is avidya and the other one is vidya. Avidya is made of the modes of passion and ignorance. Vidya is made of the mode of goodness. Goodness is superior to passion and ignorance. Okay? Our bodies are made of avidya, whereas Lord Krishna's body or Lord Vishnu's body or all the incarnations, their body is made of Vidya. Nevertheless, both Vidya and Avidya are components of Maya, and ultimately you have to give up this Maya in order to be enlightened. This is their philosophy. This is their philosophy. Okay. So therefore Maya becomes superior, Mayavadi. So we will stop here. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. All of you have a wonderful day in Krishna consciousness. We'll meet tomorrow. Thank you.